In 2004, the creative minds of J.J. Abrams and Damon Lindelof came together to release an epic of a television series, riddled with mystery, action, and adventure, always leaving its audience to constantly ponder the truth behind such an elaborate plot. Lost is still one of the most talked about and debated television series to this day. Postmodernism plays a large role in this debate due to all of the show's fans having multiple theories on how to explain what happened when the cast walked through that church door. The popular and most notable theory is that they all died in the plane crash and their trials on the island were like a sort of purgatory, so they could tie up loose ends before passing on to the other side. Although this theory was resolute for most fans of the show, some continue to speculate and draw up their own theories. Lev Manovich defines postmodernism simply as being the logic of selection, giving the filmmaker the freedom to pick and choose elements that are incorporated into the show or film. Lost is unique in this way because instead of the director having sole control over the outcome of the series, Abrams hands his torch to his audience and says, "Here you go." All he had to do was plant little clues and very carefully intertwine the plot. I believe that this approach to postmodernism is a highly effective and creative way of engaging your audience. It made watching Lost similar to sitting down at a table one night a week for 6 years and putting together 10 pieces of a 5,000-piece puzzle. Abrams knew how to give his audience as little as possible in one episode and was still able to bring back those viewers for the next week. Postmodernist clues are hidden all throughout the series that you eventually find out ties into another arc of the story. Early on we see Sawyer kill a polar bear, and Jack is led into the forest by an apparition of his dead father. The introduction of the others and the smoke monster set the main storyline in motion. The hatches that are found on the island unlock major parts of the storyline once John figures out how to open it. As anyone could imagine, they just went away off the island. Multiple attempts try and fail until later on in the series when a boat appears near the island. Hurley, Jack, and Kate make it safely to the boat and eventually are rescued. Oh, and did I mention while they were escaping, Ben was attempting to move the island? And it worked. Here's where the story becomes very intertwined and the plot is played out through multiple realities. While the three that escaped make it home safely and in the correct time period, the survivors still on the island moved with it back in time to when the Dharma Initiative first started research on the island. And in a classic time paradox, the actions of the survivors now impact how they originally arrived on the island. Abrams and Lindelof did very well in trying to tie up loose ends through the progression of the plot. The only one they couldn't tie was the end. Another major postmodernist clue comes with the appearance of Jacob. He is the god of the others and seems to have handpicked 8 of the survivors, and one of them would take over his job of protecting the island. Jacob and the smoke monster later on play out a scene like that of the story of Cain and Abel. They are the forces of good and evil on the island, only further speculating their overall role in what happened to the survivors. One final item that contributes to the postmodernist reflection in the end is a progression of numbers that are seen everywhere in the series. They were Hurley's winning lottery numbers and the serial number on the side of the first hatch. They are also found in smaller and less noticeable places as well, like test rabbits, sports shirts, and even the flight number of their airplane. In my opinion, postmodernism is what made Lost an epic series. I finished it months ago and still wonder about alternative interpretations. Not just me though. There are blogs and forums that remain highly active and discuss in depth the theories behind Lost. Every little thing boils down to something that contributes to the overall plot. Without this fuel, Lost wouldn't have been the gripping TV show that it was. But Abrams and Lindelof knew what their fans expected and took full advantage of it. The postmodernist spin on television is relatively new compared to its presence in film, but all of the writers, producers, and directors of Lost set the bar really high.